2017 BICSI Fall Conference with BICSI President Brian Ensign. Brian, thank you for spending some
problem.
time with us.
Thank you for being here.
3 questions with Brian is what we're going to call this, because I've got 3 for you. You ready?
I'm ready. Bring them out.
You're about 19 months now, maybe, into your term as BICSI President.
Yeah.
I know
Quick
that
19 months.
time flies, right? I know that BICSI operates according to a strategic plan.
Yep.
So if you could, tell us some of the elements of what BICSI's strategic plan has been since the time you took office, and how that plan has progressed, or how BICSI has progressed according to the plan in the time that you've been president.
Sure. Yeah. Strategic planning is important for any organization. If you think about the board, every 2 years you get new leadership into the board. So in order for staff to continue heading BICSI in that right direction, we need to make sure we have that strategic plan in place. So it's critical. So we have some core elements. Number one is global. So BICSI is a global association, so we need to keep expanding global and acting globally, which means we're not going to act like Tampa, Florida in the Middle East. So now we've established an office in the Middle East, in Dubai, with 2 staff members there, so we can manage that membership and functions and events in that area and deliver the content, training, manuals in that fashion. So everything we do is global focused. And then the 2 big ones really coming up is about credentialing. So BICSI's credential programs are key to what we do, right? RCDD, data center, design consultant, RTPM, and OSP. So we want to make sure those are ready for the future. So we have a program called Credentialing 2020. And a lot of it initially is back office workflow, but really making sure we're delivering the right materials, testing the right way, have the right questions asked, and grading it and scoring it in the right way. So we made sure all that is in place. So it's really an enhancement of the programs going forward.
I see.
And then the other third main component is modularization. We have a lot of generations in BICSI.
Okay.
New generations coming in, and people want material in different ways, right? People on their laptop, on their tablet, or maybe I don't want to take a TDM manual, which when I took my RCDD was 2 manuals. It's a little smaller now; they're bigger manuals. So they want to do electronically. So it's in modules. If I want to learn about grounding and bonding, I can go in and create that module, and then I can put it on my tablet, from my iPad. I can make notes on it. So we're taking that manual, making it modularized.
Right.
The old format into new format, and then now we're creating the modules. So it's really how we're delivering the training, what is the material, and how we're testing on it is key to getting ready for the future. So strategic planning, those are definitely the big ones.
So BICSI is an educational association, as you're pointing out. The way that people learn has changed, is changing, BICSI is changing with it. Right?
It is. Another example, we just came out with, we're going to be coming out with virtual led instructor training. So today you get webinars, you get instructor led. Now we're going to do a virtual instructor led, so you can be in front of your computer versus in a classroom, because that's how people want to learn, and we're going to offer that up as a service. So coming as we get towards the end of this year and the next year, you'll see more on that.
Right. I asked you about strategic planning, and I could say that strategic planning, or having a strategic plan, is like an aircraft carrier, very powerful, but probably doesn't turn on a dime, right?
No, you said that right. No.
There are times when, I'm sure there are times when BICSI has to respond quickly to something that's happening in the industry, a relatively emerging trend or something like that. Can you tell us what either systems, methods, or approaches BICSI might have in place to respond to something on a sort of a more acute basis?
Yeah, definitely. That's a good point, because strategic planning is looking, ideally you want to go at least 5 years out, right? But also we have the other areas that are year out or shorter type things, or responding to the needs of the industry. One example is we have approved design training professionals organizations, ADTPs. So we got that program approved and running, so we can offer training through third-party partners, not always in Tampa or suitcase class or online. It's one example. And another one I think of come to mind is a lot of members ask about keeping up with current trends and where we go. So that's one. Through conferences, we can move those a lot quicker by changing the content.
I see.
So this one here, if you saw the slate of presentations, I'd say close to half of them are on IoT-based or PoE-based or future technologies, more so than it was a year ago, maybe 10, 15%. And I think the winter conference coming up, there might even be more. So that's one way we can help everybody keep up on trends, and that was something that we got to react quickly to, because as you know, this industry changes so quick. So how do we keep things moving forward with that?
Excellent.
Good example.
And you mentioned some of what's going on here this week, and members on the floor and in the educational hall as well. I know that one of the things that comes up from time to time is the need for them to stay current with technologies, with business and technological trends. And in addition to what you offer here in conference format, does BICSI have other methods of keeping its members current with information on trends, on technology topics that are important to their business right here and now?
Yeah, it's a good point. We have the conferences, which are multi-day, right? At the same time, we have region meetings. So we bring that down to a day-long, 4 or 5 presentations, mostly 5. And then so we have the local attendees in each region. Each region has 3 or 4 a year. And that's not only in the U.S., but globally.
Right.
And then also we have breakfast clubs, which are basically 1 presentation, maybe 2. Could be a morning, could be an afternoon, but a quick hit. And those bring in a presenter and a sponsor and do those. So the breakfast clubs are in a frequency of maybe monthly in different regions.
Right.
So a lot more of the local. And then also webinars. So we get a lot of webinars that our vendors can do, or BICSI can do, or instructors can do. That's very focused on a certain topic. Now, the core topics of design and installation are key. Installation of products is key, but at the same time, talking about the new technology is coming up a lot more.
Right.
So we can do that on a local basis, and of course on a conference basis, or electronically, which are recorded, so you can watch them later. So a lot of that's happening all at the same time. So good avenues.
Great. Well, I promised you 3 questions, and I guess I'll stop there because that is 3.
Go.
So Brian Ensign, BICSI President, thanks very much for your time today.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.